Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to If My Heart Had Some Wings. In the last episode, we got to see some fun times with Katori and the gang. They finished up their exams, and then Katori got a love letter from one of the other guys, which she promptly really wanted to turn down. Then she went on a bike ride with Aoi, and then she definitely turned him down. And then she hilariously said she was in love with the sky, in which Agaha and Aoi saw and hilariously laughed in her face, and she got all pissed off. And then we all went swimming again because there wasn't much to work on the plane and such. And, we're pretty much like the day after that right now. And it's a good morning because Agaha's here. How you doing, Aggie? How you doing? Anyways, we're still trying to make up with Katori so we can all just get a room together already, so... Well, not all of us, just me and her, but whatever. Whatever ends up happening, it's cool. So let's see where this goes. Good morning. Good morning, Agaha. Where's Katori? Oh yeah? Yesterday after swimming in the lake, Agaha had spent the night in Katori's room. They were excited about having a pajama party. I heard them whispering until late at night. That's adorable. Yup. Oh yeah, and it's raining today, by the way. Yeah, it seems like it'll continue for a while. Agaha took some milk from the fridge and poured it into a glass. Oh? Well, I'm glad. She asked it so frankly that it took me a moment to comprehend the question. Yeah, I do. Answered slightly dejected. Partly because I was embarrassed, but also because I was a little frustrated she asked about it so easily, like it was nothing. It's not that easy. There's the soaring club and me being the dorm mother after all. Moreover, there are her feelings too. Agaha said this while drinking her milk. I have no idea. All I know is that she doesn't hate me. Even if I said I liked her, various things could happen. Besides, if it didn't work out, I might make her feel cornered. She relies on me, right? But when I think about what would happen if things got awkward... Agaha sounded a little angry. Bitch, please. Bitch, please. Uh-huh. Fond of what? No, that's not it. What a thing to say. Yeah, I'll do what I want. You're not my dad. You're not my dad. In any case, nothing will come from continuing on like this. I have to do something about these feelings, and fast. Oh, and Sister-chan is here. Hello. Oh, hello, Hibari-san. Hibari-san arrived from walking in the rain a little past noon. Hibari-san used to come once a week, but lately her visits became a little less frequent. It was her first visit since summer break had started. I haven't seen you in a while. She said unhappily. Knowing her, it's likely that she would visit every day if possible. But it's unusual for you to come at this time. She usually comes at night. Uh-oh, she's gonna give her an option to, leave here or something, isn't she? Hibari-san sounded determined, and her expression got serious. Uh-oh. Uh-oh!
昔のことよ。二人とも今は反省してるし、だから全然昔のことじゃない。私にとっては昨日のことよ。小鳥ちゃん、分かったでしょ。もう出てって。いいえ、出て行きません。今日は何としてでも小鳥ちゃんに帰るって約束してもらいます。ぬぬぬ、どんなに粘っても絶対に帰らないんですからね。
She's in love with the sky, and she doesn't care who knows it. We have a job to do, and Katori doesn't want to abandon that. Even if that's not really what she wants to say, it's true.
ずっとこのままでいるつもりなの？そうよ、そのつもり。
Lies.
じゃあ学校を卒業した後はどうするの？一人で暮らしていくの？小鳥ちゃん、逃げてちゃダメよ。辛いのはわかるけど。
Uh-huh.
ハット。わ。
Whack.
アタック。
Attack! Huh?
ハットちゃん、やめて。
Good times. Fucking duck.
許して。
Driven away by Hat, Hibari-san rushed out of Katori's room. Whoa! Hey, cut it out, Hat! Are you alright, Hibari-san?
大丈夫です。あかんべー。
Katori retrieved Hat, shut the door, and locked it. What's with her?
いいの。私が言い過ぎちゃったんです。
Okay. What on earth happened just now? Seemed like a quarrel about whether she'd return home or not. I asked while preparing tea.
私、今年こそは小鳥ちゃんを家に連れて帰ろうと、そう心に決めてきたんです。
What do you mean by taking her home?
お盆の間だけですよ。ずっとってことじゃないです。
I felt relieved when I heard that.
でも、ダメでした。
Why won't she go home? She isn't getting along with her family? I thought it might be rude, but it was always on my mind, so I went ahead and asked. With a sad expression, Hibari-san stared at a drop of water that coiled about her glass of barley tea.
小鳥ちゃんの足の怪我のこと、何か聞いていますか？
Yeah, just a little. If I remember correctly, it was an accident during a family trip.
あれは今からもう4年も前になります。楽しい家族旅行があの事故のせいで、それまではどこにでもいる幸せな家族でした。両親の仲も良くて、小鳥ちゃんのような可愛い娘もいて、きっと誰もが羨むような。けど、あの事故が全てを変えてしまったんです。
You never know what will happen in life. You expect to keep living a perfectly ordinary life, but then suddenly, it's taken away from you without warning. Just like what happened to me. But my situation can't be compared with what was taken from the Habane family. I always thought it was strange, but why is Katori living in a dorm? Usually when someone is disabled, they live with their family, right? Otherwise, they enter a facility that has caregivers or something.
小鳥ちゃんが事故に遭った後、家族は一変しました。両親は事故の責任をめぐって互いを責め、動かなくなった小鳥ちゃんの足を見て、小鳥ちゃんね、バレーボールの選手だったんですよ。背はあまり高くなかったけれど、すごいジャンプ力で本当にかっこよかったの。
She could dunk on bitches, basically.
だから余計に辛かったんでしょうね。
But that's terrible. The one who has it the hardest is Katori. Hibari-san nodded deeply.
父も母も小鳥ちゃんのことを心から愛してたわ。だから小鳥ちゃんの前ではなるべく見せないようにはしてて、けどどんなに隠してても分かっちゃうのよね。小鳥ちゃんはそれを自分のせいだと思って、いつの間にか自分を責めるようになっていたんです。
So because of that, Katori's... Hibari-san nodded.
いたたまれなくなって家を出たんだと。
Yeah, I was like, it was probably her own choice, because she didn't like seeing her parents be all sad. Just because every time they would see her, they probably got real sad about it and, like, blamed each other or themselves for what happened or whatever happened. I mean, sure, we haven't really heard exactly how she lost her leg abilities, but we just know, like we said, it happened on a family trip. That's all we know.
小鳥ちゃんが出て行ってから家の中は時間が止まったみたいになってる。あの頃の事故の後のまま。
Since I wasn't there, I can only imagine it. If I had to part with Katori now, I'd be tortured by suffering comparable to being torn apart. But the one who has it the hardest is Katori. I'm positive that her mom and dad both understood that and were trying their best to be considerate. Sorry, I was rubbing my eye and I lost track of my spot. But even so, it's not possible to bury all of the sadness and be as cheerful as before. I'm sure that sadness is too much for one person to bear. Unbelievably so.
私は小鳥ちゃんはこのトビウオ荘に来て
Me
よかった
too.
って思
Me
ってる
too.
んです。特に水瀬さんと出会ってからあの子は変わったわ。よく笑うようになったし、お友達も増えて毎日楽しそう。まるで少しずつ昔の小鳥ちゃんに戻っていくみたい。
If that's the case, it makes me happy too. If I could ease the sadness of Katori and her family, even by just a little bit, I would do anything.
今の小鳥ちゃんを見ればお父さんもお母さんも安心してまた昔のように笑えるかもしれない。お正月に帰った時は本当に嬉しそうで、久しぶりに家の中が明るくなったんですよ。
Seeing Hibari-san's bright smile while saying this caused me to feel dull pains squeezing my chest. Hey, Katori-san! No reply. Katori, I know you're in there. Open the door already. I heard the sound of the door being unlocked. I'm going in.
ひばり姉に頼まれてきたの？
No, she didn't. Look, what you did earlier was terrible.
あんた、ちょっと脅かしただけだもん。ねえ、ハット。バカ。
Well, it seems that Hat just drove her away by rustling about. He didn't even peck her. That said, even a frail girl may faint if attacked by a bird like that.
さっきはよくやったわ、ハット。あんたは私のボディーガードよ。わあ。
Hat looked happy to be praised by Katori. I took out a cucumber I had been hiding and waved it in front of Hat. Stay calm for a little bit, alright? Yeah, you're not gonna be attacking me, not with a cucumber, bitch.
何すんのよ。
I'm distracting your bodyguard. You can't have Hat set after me, so...
ダメよ、ハット。そんなの食べちゃう。
Hat didn't seem to hear his companion's voice. He was engrossed in eating the cucumber, his favorite food.
所詮はアヒルか。
Yeah, exactly. You can't fucking persuade a duck, nuh-uh. Say, why don't you go home?
前も言ったでしょ。今が大事な時なんだから、私たちにとって。
We'll be fine if you aren't here during the Bond Festival.
何よそれ。私なんていてもいなくても一緒って言いたいの？
No, don't take it as a racist statement. It's just that if you want to go home, you can. That's all we're saying, bitch. If it's only for the Bond Festival... I knew the Katori would be angry. I heard about the situation from Hibari-san. I think I understand your pain. But running away won't solve anything, will it?
逃げてなんかない。
You don't hate your mom and dad, right? After all, when you were talking about quitting school before, you wanted to reassure your dad. Katori remained sullenly silent. You're actually worried about your family, right?
そりゃ少しくらいはしてるけど。
Then it wouldn't hurt to go back for just a bit, would it? If you won't be here during the Bond Festival, we'll somehow cover for you, so...
帰らないって言ってるでしょ。もうほっといてよ。
Katori!
なんでそんなこと言うの？葵君にはそんなこと言われたくない。これは私のうちのことよ。あなたには関係ないんだから余計な口出ししないで。
Hearing Katori's shout mixed with tears, Hat stopped eating his cucumber and reflexively raised his head. Sorry, I went too far.
葵君。
It's like you said, this is not something I should butt into. I forced a smile when I said it, but I think it might have looked a little sad.
そうよ。あんたには関係ないんだもん。
Sorry, it's only natural for you to get angry. I'm sorry I tried to meddle in your business. That's all I said, then I left Katori's room. The rain continued to drizzle constantly for several days. Since that day, things got strangely awkward between Katori and me, and we stopped talking face to face. It wasn't that we were angry or hated each other. We just didn't know how to talk with each other. Glider's coming along. It's all your fault, Asa. Maybe it's your fault, Yoru. I don't know. It's probably both your faults. Silence is working well. Let's keep it going until we're done. You can do nothing!
その後どうなの？葵とは口聞いた？昨日の夕飯の時、お好み焼きにマヨネーズをかけるかどうか聞かれたっきり。そりゃ重症だわね。あの葵がそこまで落ち込むとはね。どうしよう、嫌われちゃったのかな。さあ、それはなんとも。いやよ、そんなの。葵くんに嫌われたくないよ。やっぱあの一言が効いたんじゃないかな。
I don't want to hear that from you, Aoi-kun.
あいつあんたの保護者ぶってたからショックだったんじゃない？あれはつい言っちゃっただけで本当の気持ちじゃないもん。じゃあそう伝えれば？それでまた元通りだと思うよ。そうかな。それで葵はなんて言ったんだっけ？立ち入ったこと言って悪かったって。まあ他人の家の事情に口出すのも変だよね。そんなことない。葵くんには出されてもいい。そう思うんなら本心をちゃんと伝えなって。へたれてても状況は変わんないよ。でももう嫌われちゃってるもん、きっと。今さら何言ってんだとか思われちゃうよ。ずぶ濡れだ。
Oh, I want to see a soaked Amane. Just saying.
アマネ先輩。
Hey.
アマネちゃん。
Hello.
いやー、君たち悪いが拭くものを持っていないか？
Yay, Amane-chan's here. Woot woot.
小鳥先輩と仲直りしてください。姉さんが窒息する前にね。
Even if you tell me to. I was being pressured by the Kazato sisters in the corner of the dock. I don't like this awkward atmosphere either, but, even if they tell me to make up with Katori, it's not like we were fighting, so what can I do?
私嫌です。小鳥先輩と葵先輩が仲良くないなんて。ボタンを掛け違えたままにしてるような気持ち悪さがあるわね。前みたいに仲良くしましょうよ。ねえ先輩。
Asa-chan grabbed my arm and swayed it pleadingly. Katori and I had gotten along well. Almost too well. That's why I'd intruded on her family's business so bluntly, like I knew everything. And I really hurt her. There was that time I tried to stop Katori from quitting school and didn't hold anything back. I thought she'd hate me for it, to be honest. I thought it would be fine if she hated me for it in order to make her consider different possibilities a little more. I was able to do that because we just met. But this recent issue was different. I'd gotten comfortable with our friendship and intruded into an area she didn't want me to. I don't want to hear that from you, Aoi-kun. Honestly, that was a shock. Remembering that makes my heart sink even now. Because of that, I wasn't sure how to talk with her. The distance between us became somewhat uncertain. Of course, I don't want to leave things like this. When Tori's anger gauge drops a little, I'll apologize once again. And there was one more thing I had to tell her. Yeah, I promise. Problem is, I'm aware that Katori doesn't want an apology. So what should I do? The door opened and Agatha and Katori returned to the dock. And behind them...
Yeah.
Amane-senpai! Hell yeah. Sup, girl? Amane-senpai entered in her casual, carefree fashion. It was the first time in a while that she'd come here. Alright. I know, right? We're beastie. She said this while looking at the airframe, which was nearing completion. All that's left is to do All that's left to do is coding and some details.
それはいい。スケジュール的にも余裕がありそうだな。
Hell yeah. Ooh.
みんな
Wait, what?
集まってくれ。
What do we need time for? What's in our schedule? What are you talking about, Amane? Hello? What? With such profounding words, Amane Senpai gathered everyone. Katori was conscious of me and awkwardly averted her eyes. Without noticing the atmosphere at all, Amane Senpai began talking.
顧問を引き受けたのにあんまり顔を出せなくて申し訳ない。大人だからな。忙しいんだ。
I'm an adult, don't forget.
いえいえ、顧問をやってもらってるだけで十分ですよ。
Agaha replied, ignoring the usual bragging about being an adult.
それでな、少しでも役に立てればと思ってこんなものを作ってきたんだ。
What'd you make? Senpai took a large sheet of paper out of a long, thin tube she was carrying.
濡れてる。隙間から水が入ってしまったぞ。
Damn it!
何なんですかそれ。
She wasn't telling us anything concrete, so Agaha got impatient and asked her.
これはな、小鳥へのプレゼントだ。
Oh shit. Don't tell me it's the cockpit. Don't tell me it's the cockpit.
私？
Katori looked at her blankly, taken by surprise.
そこの事務所の PC でブックマークを見つけてな。それで書いてみたんだ。
Saying that, she finally managed to spread the sheet. It looked like a blueprint of sorts, but it wasn't a glider. At first, even Agaha didn't know what it was.
何ですかこれ。コックピットみたいですけど。だからそこの PC にあっただろ。海外製のコックピットの。
Ah! Everyone was surprised by my sudden outburst.
びっくりした。何よいきなり。
Don't worry about it. This is a cockpit for disabled people. Katori, who had raised her head after hearing my outburst, peered at the blueprint again.
先輩が見たのってあのドイツのグライダー制作会社のサイトですか？この間葵が見つけた。そうそう。輸入しようとするといろいろ面倒そうだろ。だったら自分たちで作ってしまえばいいんじゃないかと思ってな。最初からこうしてればよかったんだな。
Should have done this from the beginning, you right?
話がよく見えないんだけど。これは君のための。
With this, you could fly! Interrupting Amane Senpai, I spontaneously turned to Katori and spoke fervently. You could fly the glider with your own hands. How about that? You're thrilled, right? Katori looked flabbergasted. Seeing her expression, I remembered that we hadn't been talking for several days. Then I realized I had gotten a little too happy and felt embarrassed. But I couldn't hold back all that welling up happiness.
小鳥、もっと喜びだよ。あんたが自分で操縦できるってことだよ。え、そうなの？
Katori, who still didn't fully understand, stared vacantly at the blueprint.
ラダーをペダルじゃなく手で操作できるようになってる。コックピットを改造する必要は出てくるが、このくらい大したことないですよ。葵くんが探してくれてたの？
Yeah, I thought you might have really wanted to pilot the glider yourself. But I never thought Amane Senpai would draw a blueprint for it. Hell yeah. For a short while, Katori stared blankly at me instead of the blueprint this time.
ありがとう、あまねちゃん。
Suddenly, Katori turned her wheelchair around.
小鳥先輩、ちょっとトイレ。
Saying that, she left the dock.
あんまり嬉しそうじゃなかったぞ。
I wonder if I was meddling too much again.
さあ、そんなことないんじゃない？
I don't think so. I think she's just in such a state of shock she doesn't know what to say.
嫌われてなかった。
Yeah, see, she's just like, she just wanted to have a moment, you know?
葵くんが私のために。
Yup, I'm romantic like that. You just have to realize and stop being so motherfucking bitchy about it. It was the day when the rain, which had been falling for a while now, had finally stopped. Every time I hear this song, I just keep thinking of that damn Van Halen Jump song. Every time. I just want it to go dun 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 dun. Might as well jump. Every time I hear the song, every fucking time. Anyway. Oh, the improved airframe was finally complete. With the crystallization of our efforts and hardships in front of us, everyone looked very emotional. Tori was standing a bit away from me. A hint of delight sparkled in her eyes. Seeing that, Agatha winked at me secretly and smiled. I nodded back at her. There's still some distance between us. However, the awkward atmosphere from before was gone. It seemed we were both waiting for a good time to make up. We going flying, baby! Let's go! Yeah. We take apart the assembled airframe and load it on the trailer. Today we will go to the runway to test our remodeled glider. Aw yeah! Cheer! Today was the first time Asa-chan worked on assembling the glider's fuselage. It's not a difficult task, but mistakes can lead to serious accidents. When you assemble the fuselage by yourself, you get a better understanding of its structure and functions. Hell yeah, Anchan, what up with it? Anchan said while gazing at the improved aircraft being assembled. I had gotten him to help with transporting the glider. I'm sure Anchan is emotionally attached to it as well. Always naysaying. Nah, he just had low expectations, so at the end he would be surprised, you know, instead of just being like... So he wouldn't be disappointed in the end, is what I'm trying to say. It's thanks to your help, Anchan. You let us restock our materials cheaply, search for difficult-to-find parts, and sometimes help with construction. I know you did, boy. Yeah. Chill. It's been a while since I had flown here. Until today, I'd been using my weekends for commuting to the distant glider grounds and practicing. My skills have improved so much since last year. She said she's busy because she's an adult. Even if she isn't here today, she'll have plenty of chances to see a test flight. Alright. Gotta get in that cockpit. I got into the cockpit and checked the controls. The main wings and the empennage, I don't know, have been remade, so it feels different from before. We carefully proceed with all sorts of checks before the takeoff. It's only natural that Asa-chan and Yoro-chan were nervous, but Agatha, Katori, and I were too. It's the first test flight we've done in a long time. Guess who's riding shotgun? Katori asked uneasily. Without a word, Agatha winked at me. Your seat is over there, isn't it? I pointed the rear seat with my thumb. Katori looked around at everyone's faces. Until coming here, Katori was assigned to operate the winch. However, no one is surprised by the sudden change. That's because it was arranged beforehand by all of us, except for Katori. Katori also realized that when she saw everyone's unnatural expressions. I promise you, right, that I'll give you a ride first. I made you wait quite a while, but... I said slightly bashfully. However, Katori had been looking at me blankly and instantly blushed even more than I did. She gets the second ride. She gets sloppy seconds. You first. You first. Yeah, stop acting like a kid. Senpai first. Yeah, really though, this is just test flight number 1. Let's go.
なら別にいいじゃ
El
ん。
Presidente, El Senpai, you go first. Katori timidly looked up at me. It seemed she had some trouble expressing her happiness, probably due to that awkward atmosphere between us these last few days.
乗る。
Damn right you will. All right.
朝ちゃん、夜ちゃん、小鳥を後部座席に乗せるのを手伝って。はい。
Doop, 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 doop. Katori was lifted by everyone and put into the rear seat of the glider.
シートベルト緩くない？大丈夫。
Don't touch the control stick. I told Katori while I was getting into the front seat. Doop, doop,
葵、
doop.
これは改良型の初フライトなんだから。
You
あ
got
んま
it,
り無
dude.
茶な飛び方しちゃダメよ。
Yeah, I know. Close the canopy.
はいよ。小鳥、いってらっしゃい。
Chill! Going flying with my girl. Aw, yeah. The canopy was closed. The transparent dome blocked the sounds from outside. I felt the tension coming from the rear seat. Outside, Agatha was running towards the winch. Yoru-chan was observing the surrounding area from a little distance away, and Nasa-chan was checking the towing rope. Finally, it's time for the improved glider's first flight. The wings we all made together will fly through the air. And the promise I made with Katori a year ago will be fulfilled. Dum, dum. The air current is calm today. We won't be able to fly very high, but this is perfect for our first test flight. But if you get scared, tell me. I'll descend right away. I heard Agatha's voice through the radio. Are you ready, Katori?
いいよ。
We're ready. I answered Agatha and gave the signal to Asa-chan. Asa-chan walked around to the left side of the fuselage, lifted the wing, which was leaning on the ground.
Runway is clear.
The runway had been checked. Pull us up!
了解。行くよ。
And away we go, motherfucker! Clang! The towing rope was pulled and the glider began to move. It quickly accelerated. Asa-chan was running with all her might, but soon let go of the wing. I pulled the control stick. The glider, which had been running on its wheels over the weed-covered bumpy ground, gently lifted up. Hell yeah, we're floating. While the glider was floating near the ground, it was still being pulled by the winch and started accelerating. We're climbing! I pulled the control stick back and pointed the nose upwards. Oh yeah. The airframe started ascending rapidly. Good! Feeling the G's with my whole body, I gripped the control stick tightly so the glider wouldn't go out of control. The ground became distant, and the sky spread out everywhere outside the canopy. I'm disconnecting! Right before we got above the winch, I pulled the release lever. The hook was disconnected, and the towing rope was released from the underside of the airframe. We were released from the force that had been pulling us, and the glider was thrown into the sky. I quickly turned and checked the disconnection of the towing rope. We good. Release confirmed.
了解。パラシュートが落ちてく。上から見るとこんな感じなんだ。
Yeah, you're above now, baby. Look around. Katori, who had always been in charge of the winch, used to see that small parachute from below. Takeoff successful. As I announced this, Katori looked at the outside view from the rear seat. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
すごい。本当に飛んでる。
Oh, we're flying, baby. We flying. Aren't you scared?
全然。
I'm facing forward so I can't see, but I'm sure that Katori's round eyes are sparkling. That's what her voice suggested. To get a feel of the new wings, I first flew slowly over the runway. They respond to the rudder faster than the old wings. But the feeling of gliding is smooth. As this is a test flight, I have to remember how it feels and report to Agatha later.
朝たちがあんなに小さく見える。って言ってもわかんないだろうな。
Oh, they'll know.
葵、どんな感じ？
Up until now, it's been responding well. It's more sensitive than the old glider, but the gliding itself feels much more smoother.
小鳥はどう？すっごく気持ちいいよ。よしよし。じゃあまあ頑張んなよ。おう。
What does she have to do her best at? I got the feel of it, so I'll try flying around for a bit. Shall we try going over to that place?
あそこって
Windmill Hill. Tori seemed to think it was a good idea. I leaned the control stick to the side, stepped on the rudder pedal, and turned the glider towards the lake. Whee!
本当に飛んでる。どう朝ちゃん、自分が作った翼が飛んでるのを見る気分は。
How does it feel, baby?
なんだか不思議です。どうしてあんなものが飛べるんでしょう。
Because it was designed well, whether you thought it was or not.
不思議だよね。ちゃんと空中でバランスを保ちながら滑空してるんだもんね。
It's magic, I'm telling you.
どこかへ行くみたい。湖の方かしら。ここで飛ぶ時の定番コースだからね。
Flying around the lake is standard. The glider crossed over the lake and approached the area above the Windmill Hill.
いい眺め。この湖ってこんなに大きかったんだ。
We're at the edge of the north side of the lake. The whole lake is long and narrow, but this part is especially thin, almost like a river. Thanks to that, we can easily cross over it in the glider. I slowly turned the glider around the peak of the Windmill Hill. There was a weak thermal here. The view from here is my favorite.
いいね。立ち並ぶ風車が綺麗。街も見渡せるし。あれ、私たちの秘密基地かな。
I saw the dock's round roof in the area where Katori was looking. It's a rather large building, but looks small from here. Do you remember the day when we first met?
もちろんよ。
Of course she does. An elephant never forget. I mean, a girl never forgets. Female. Right around there, your wheelchair had gotten a flat tire.
そこに葵くんが来て修理してくれたのよね。
And then the glider that Amane Senpai was piloting flew by. If even one of these coincidences hadn't happened, we wouldn't be enjoying a flight through the air together like this.
上から見るとこんな風なのね。
Katori murmured with emotion as she looked down through the canopy. I flew around the area slowly, just as Amane Senpai had done at that time.
葵くん、
Katori timidly called out to me from the back seat. Huh?
ありがとう。
Huh?
コックピットのこと。
She was talking about the blueprint that Amane Senpai had drawn for us. But I didn't do anything. I just learned that there were cockpits for people with a handicap and collected information. Amane Senpai had found it by chance and drawn a blueprint for us. It's not like I asked her for it. If you want to thank someone, tell Senpai.
私のことなのに自分のことみたいに喜んでくれたでしょ。
Sorta, yeah.
嬉しかったの。
Yeah. I felt a little embarrassed to be told that. At the time, I hadn't dreamed that Senpai would prepare something like that for us. I got too excited at our surprise. I'd gotten so happy that Katori, who should have been delighted, ended up staring at me blankly.
それに探してくれてたんでしょ。そういうコックピットを。
I just found it on the net by chance and thought that if we had this, you could fly by yourself.
ありがとう。
I didn't do anything worth being thanked for. Her gratitude, even though I didn't do anything special, actually made me feel embarrassed. But I'm certainly glad that Amane Senpai drew that blueprint. When we finish building the cockpit, you can pilot too. Then you'll have to train extra hard. I jokingly spoke in a threatening manner, but Katori nodded seriously from the rear seat.
それとね。
Katori hesitated, like she had something difficult to say.
この間のことだけど。
Then I heard a faint sound of her taking a deep breath.
ひどいこと言ってごめんね。
It's fine. I don't want to hear that from you, Aoi-kun.
あれは違うの。葵くんはいつも私の味方をしてくれるって思ってて。なのにそうじゃないこと言われた気がして。それで。
Her voice sounded like she was about to cry. I couldn't bear it, so I started speaking. No, I'm sorry for intruding on your personal...
違うの。
Oh. Katori reflexively interrupted me.
葵くんに 立ち入ったことを
Oh
言ってほ
shit.
しい。
The confession is real.
葵くんがそういうことを言うのはおかしなことじゃないの。
Katori.
私バカだし強情だし素直じゃないから時々あんな態度取っちゃうけど、でもあれは本当の気持ちじゃないの。そのこと知っててほしい。
Okay, I'll remember that. When I answered, I sensed Katori's relief. It felt like the tension that had continued since the canopy had closed finally dissipated. Well then, can I say something a little bit intrusive?
いいよ。
I like you, Katori. Dun dun dun! Oh? Not as a friend. I love you. He said it! Credit roll. Game over. We did it. No, I'm just kidding. It might be a bother, but I wanted you to know. Come on, reciprocate your feelings. You know it to be true in your heart. Katori stopped talking. It was an awkward silence. Just as I started worrying that I surprised her. I realized that Katori was crying. Katori? No, this is very real. You know, I'm pretty sure we're awake.
私も好き。葵くんのこと。
Oh shit! While crying, Katori spoke up with all her might. Her voice resounded inside the canopy. Thanks to that, I felt it not just with my ears, but with my entire body. ... I see. I'm glad to hear that. At first I felt relieved, but then I was overcome with happiness. So we both feel this way. Which means we're dating, right?
今からずっと。
She said forever, dude. I might want to jump out of this plane now. Don't never say forever. I see. Well, my delayed happiness finally boiled over. Oh god, that's too many ha-has. I'm gonna stop. What? Tori was surprised by my sudden laughter.
どうしたの？
I've gone insane! But I couldn't stop. I was so happy. So happy! Katori, I like you! I love you! I surrendered myself to the overflowing emotions and leaned the control stick. We're all gonna die! No, I'm just kidding. I love you so much, we're just gonna crash and die together. That means we'll get to live together forever. The glider started flying in circles. Hooray! Hooray! Katori likes me! Now don't kill me! Katori finally answered Katori answered frantically, suffering from the G-force inside the cockpit. I like you too, Katori! The glider turned and did a loop, like my happiness had been transferred to it. Agaha's scolding voice roared from the radio. My bad. Sorry, I just got a little excited. I quickly leveled the plane off. Katori, alright? She's just a little dizzy. In her pants. Saying. Oh shit, did they get to hear all of that? Huh? Congratulations? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. They got to hear all of that. Uh-oh. I knew it. I was wondering, like, I wonder if they get to hear all that. It was in the back of my mind, but I didn't say that. That's hilarious. What? Yor was like, could you never say those words in front of me ever again? Oh, whose fault is that? Katori. What? Oh well. You liar! You must have realized that right away. You're gonna get back and they're all gonna be crying because it was so romantic. Uh-oh. Now we're all blushing. Oh yeah, sure, Yoru, sure. These guys. Well, I indeed had intended to tell Katori my feelings on today's test flight. It was a chance to have some time alone, just the two of us. There was no worry of being overheard by anyone, or so I had thought. Transmission cut off. Katori. Yeah? Yeah. Katori was looking down, her face beet red. After that, we stayed in the sky as long as we could, taking as much time as possible before we returned to the runway. We don't want to see their faces anytime soon. We succeeded in landing without any problems, released the lock, and the canopy was open from the outside. Agatha and the others greeted us with smiles on their faces that were so wide it made me feel ill. Hi! Katori, who came down from the cockpit and sat in her wheelchair, was blushing deeply and had a discouraged expression on her face. Why would they make fun? That's what they've been fucking ushering this on for the last goddamn year. Great job with various things. You're gonna make fun of me, aren't you? Asa-chan's eyes were sparkling like those of a heroine from a shoujo manga, and Yoru-chan's were smirking. When I blushed, my head was slapped from behind. Oh shit, did Anchan hear all that too? Even you, Anchan? Ah! Being told that by Anchan made me feel embarrassed, but also happy. It's pretty sweet. Like I told you over the radio, it has a few quirks. Once I get used to those, it should be easy to handle. The feeling of gliding was smooth, too. The sink rate was low. Compared to the previous model, it seems like it will be able to stay in the air longer. It doesn't need anything right now. Okay. We have to check if any parts were damaged during the first flight. We're still going to fly it several more times today. I met Katori's glance for just an instant, and then headed toward the cockpit. Agatha, I'm ready over here. From a little distance, Katori gazed blankly at us, preparing for the next test flight. Alright. So are we going flying with everybody today? I'm guessing everyone's going to get a shot at this. Everybody's going to get a little shotgun action. But now what? Now that we've confessed our love, do we get to consummate the proclamation? Or shall we say? The improved glider's test flight had been a success, in more ways than one. While it did need minor adjustments, there were no large issues, including brakes. We flew until sunset. During that time, Asa-chan, Yoru-chan, and Agatha also got to ride. Asa-chan looked extremely pleased and was deeply moved by the scenery she saw from the sky. Flying with the glider that we worked on ourselves gave us much more satisfaction than just flying. Alright. After the test flight, Agatha returned with us to the dorm, and we had a meeting to review the day while eating a late dinner. Although you might say it turned into a meeting that included lots of self-praise, talking about how great our wings are and how exciting flying was. Right now I'm cleaning the dining room. Agatha came into the dining room while drying her hair with a bath towel. She sat in front of the fan, turned it on all the way up, and put her face near it. Has everyone already taken a bath? She hasn't? What is she doing anyway? Just sitting in a room and smiling like a maniac. During dinner, Katori hadn't spoken much. It seemed like she didn't want to be made fun of for that thing with me, so she kept silent. And what's more, she hadn't spoken normally for the past few days. Perhaps she had forgotten how she usually speaks to us.
言ってあげたら邪魔はしないからさ。
I'll guard the door if you want. After I finished cleaning up, Agatha looked at me like she was well aware that I really want to go right away. I feigned ignorance and washed the dishes.
これで私が帰り咲きだね。
I made a comeback. What?
小鳥が彼女に昇格して、
Oh,
私が
right.
一番の親
I
友に
forgot
繰り
I
上が
forgot
り
that's what Agatha wanted this whole time. She was like, get a girlfriend already so we can be best friends again. God. Oh yeah. I feel like we've had a similar conversation before.
けど本当に付き合っちゃうとはね。
What? There's no problem with that.
いいっていうか、ようやくって感じ？
It's about
ねえねえ
goddamn time,
い
you
つ
know
か
what
ら
I'm
小
saying?
鳥のこと好きだったの？
Agatha bends forward like an old lady who loves gossip. I don't know.
わからんって。
When I realized it, I was already in love. That's true. I wonder, when did I notice it? I somehow came to think of her as more than just a friend. But even then, I wasn't aware that I was in love with her or anything. Not at all. We were together every day and getting along so well that Agatha even labeled us as best friends. I couldn't have wished for anything more. I think I became clearly conscious of it when Katori received that love letter. I realized that I got unexpectedly unsettled when I saw Katori getting all flustered after receiving that love letter from a guy she hadn't even met. When I thought that Katori might go away somewhere, it was heartbreaking. That's when I realized that I like Katori.
まあしゃあないか。もしそういう関係になってなかったとしても、
I mean,
一番の親友だった
it is.
女の子
I
だもん
mean,
ね。
that's a pretty true statement.
その好きがどの好きか結構ごっちゃになっちゃうかも。
Yeah, something like that. Agatha opened the fridge and took out a bottle of cider that she had been cooling. Then she drank half of it in one go.
やっぱ風呂上がりはこれに限る
Say, you aren't bothered by this?
わ。何が？
By Katori and I dating?
何それ？やきもち焼くかってこと？
No, not that. I mean, like, well, you know, things getting awkward and stuff.
それはその時になってみないとわからないけど。でも私嬉しいよ。
Just don't make out in front of me and we'll be okay, okay? Okay? Okay. Are you really?
二人のことは親友だし大好きだもん。大好きな人同士がくっついてくれて嬉しいよ。
Uh-huh. She says this nonchalantly.
まあ焼きもち焼かないかって言われると。
There you go. That's what I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear you're at least a little bit jealous.
でもさ、小鳥って危なっかしいじゃん。見てて心配になるっていうかさ。けど葵ならあの子のこと幸せにしてくれそうなんだもん。
Agatha.
なんつってな。ちょっと格好つけちまったぜ。
I'm super jealous, and I might go kill myself later. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not saying that. That was a little morbid. This is supposed to be a nice time. Agatha said jokingly and then finished the rest of her cider. Then she picked up the remote and turned on the TV.
お、始まってる。
The variety show that Agatha watches every week had begun. Agatha sat on a chair facing backwards and started watching TV while holding the back of the seat. I finished washing the dishes, turned off the water, and wiped off my hands. Well then, I guess I'll go take a bath then.
いってらっしゃい。
Bye-bye! Agatha spoke while facing the TV.
しばらく邪魔しないであげるから頑張ってね。
You didn't have to say that. I murmured this as I left the dining room. Do my best, huh? Hey, Katori! Katori, are you there? Dun dun dun.
わあ。
Oh, hey, Quack Hat. Hat poked his head through his special door. Is your partner inside?
わわ。
I'm not sure, but it seems she isn't there. Huh. I wonder where she went. I have a pretty good idea, but let's see. I thought she went to take a bath, but I didn't hear anything from the bathroom. Oh, maybe she's in Asachan's room? But Katori is in a wheelchair, so she can't go to the second floor by herself. Oh, she's in your room, dude. Oh my god. Anyway, but Katori's in a wheelchair. She can't go to the second floor by herself. When she talks to people who live on the second floor, it's usually in the dining room or in her own room. Did she go out somewhere? Nah, dude.
心配しないで。毎日楽しくやってるよ。
Oh? Did she really go
友
outside?
達もいっぱいいるし、 それに今日ね。
Oh, maybe she did go outside. Damn it!
やっぱりなんでもない。
Katori! I put my hands on Katori's shoulders from behind and whispered right into her ear. She jumped up in her wheelchair like a cat and made a strange shriek. At that moment, she almost dropped the cell phone she was holding. Huh? Cell phone?
なんでもないの。ちょっとバカなアヒルにいたずらされただけ。ほんと困るのよね、バカでさ。
She scowled at me, so I mouthed, I'm sorry. The cell phone was hidden by her hair from behind, so I didn't see it. I thought she was just staring at the stars, immersed in sentimentality.
わかった。じゃあ待ってるね。おやすみ。
Ah, she's gonna go with her family, isn't she? Katori said in a soft voice she doesn't normally use when talking with us, and then hung up the phone. I'm sorry.
もう急に変な声出しちゃったから、お父さんに本気で心配されちゃったじゃない。
She's talking to her dad. That's nice. So you called your family?
久しぶりに声聞きたくなって。それでね、お盆の間だけ
There you go.
実家に
Oh
帰ることに
yeah.
したの。
Really?
心配かけてばかりだし、今幸せなんだってことちゃんと報告しときたくて。
I see. Was your dad happy?
すごく嬉しそうだった。だけど
But?
明日の朝迎えに来るって。
What?
お父さんが車で迎えに来るの、明日の朝に。
Is that why? I mean, that's cool, right? Your dad doesn't waste any time, does he? Coming the next morning right after a phone call must mean he really wanted to see Katori.
だからしばらく会えなくなっちゃう。
Well, then we better make sure we do something to commemorate this moment.
せっかくそのお付き合いを始めたのに。
Yeah, well, it can't be helped. Katori really seems sorry, but it wouldn't be right to stop her from going. Why do you look so uneasy?
だってうちに泊まるの久しぶりだし、それに。
Katori slowly cast her eyes downward. I heard a little bit from Hibari-san about why you left your house. It must have been really painful, being with your family. Seeing her parents engulfed in sadness, thinking that she was the cause of it and blaming herself, must have been very hard. Katori nodded silently, perhaps recalling that time. But things are different now, right? Just now, your voice sounded so gentle.
あの頃はね、お父さんもお母さんもいつも悲しそうにしてた。ただ足が動かなくなっちゃっただけなのにね。私が事故に遭ったのは自分たちのせいだって思ってて、私に向かって言うのよ。ごめんね、ごめんねって。私は心の中でいつも自分を責めてた。
I need to know like exactly what happened with this. Like we don't know exactly what happened, but whose fault was it, man? Was it literally an accident? Like just happened a freak accident out of nowhere or something? Like I want to know.
そんなのがずっと続いて、もう耐えられなくて、それで家を出ようと思ったの。
Must have taken a huge amount of courage for a girl with disabled legs to decide to leave her house. But that means it was painful enough to make her decide something like that.
家族から逃げたかったんだけど、それだけじゃなかったわ。私はまだ生きてるし、人生が台無しになったわけじゃない。それを
Okay. So she had some determination too. It wasn't just out of like, oh man, I want to leave because people are sad. No, it was like, no, I'm going to do something with my life still. So you came to Kifu Academy. Katori nodded.
慶風学園なら完全バリアフリーだし、学生寮もある。東京の実家から車で3時間ほどで来られるでしょ。お父さんも何かあったらすぐ駆けつけられるってそう思ったみたい。説得するにはここがぴったりだったの。工学系に興味があるって嘘をついたんだけど、実際はさっぱり興味なかったから、入学してからえらく苦労したわ。
So that's why. When I transferred, Katori was only at the top of her class in general subjects. In specialized ones, she was near the bottom. Though that had changed after she joined the soaring club. It's amazing you could convince your parents like that.
私でも手に職をつけられるかもって思ったみたい。どのみちバリアフリーの学校を選ばなきゃいけないから、他に選択肢も少なかったし、それにひばり姉も援護してくれたの。
I see.
そんな理由で選んだ慶風学園だったけど、いっ 友達がいてやりたいこともあって、彼氏もうできたから。
Katori said bashfully and lightly pinched the hem of my shirt.
ここに来てよかった。
Thank you for coming here, I said and gently stroked Katori's head. Her hair was glossy and felt so good to touch. Katori blushed and narrowed her eyes as though it tickled. And you were finally able to ride the glider, too. Katori suddenly got energetic and raised her face. How was your first flight?
最高に気持ちよかった。
Katori said with sparkling eyes, just like a child reporting the events of a happy day to their parent.
空を飛ぶのってあんなに気持ちがいいのね。
It will feel even better when you pilot it yourself.
だと思うわ。
We haven't even begun making Katori's cockpit yet. We scheduled to begin making it after the glider's body is finished. Well, the body's finished, baby. Katori rubbed her forehead as if she was deducing something. What's wrong?
今日は嬉しいことが一度にいっぱいありすぎて、わーってなって。
My mind is a blur I can't even
わけがわか
process.
んない。グライダーに初めて乗って、それだけでも人生の絶頂みたいに幸せだったのに、あんなところで告白なんてするんだもん。
I thought it was the best time to tell you.
きっと最高だった。10年経っても20年経っても思い出すと思う。
Why you gotta put a number on it? You're gonna remember for the rest of your life. Just say that. Then it was a success. I smiled a bit jokingly, and Katori looked up at me with a serious expression.
一応確認だけど、葵くん本気なの？
Huh? About what?
私のこと本気でその。
Love you? Katori put her hand on her chest as though she'd taken damage. Oh! It's a critical hit! What? Do you doubt me?
そうじゃないけど、いまいち自信が持てない。葵くんみたいなかっこいい男の子の恋愛対象に自分がなれるなんておかしいもん。
Jeez.
世界七不思議って感じ。
7 wonders, huh? Hey, why don't you try saying that after looking in the mirror? She doesn't realize how cute she is. Wait, weren't you calling yourself a beautiful girl?
そうだけど、美少女ですけど、でもこんな体だもん。
And then I'm gonna say, dude, I was looking at your body all day when we were at the beach. I don't know about you.
葵くん優しいから、私のことかわいそうだって思ってくれて、それで。
I really like you, Katori. You're cute, constantly think of your friends, and when we're together, how should I put it? It calms me down.
そうかな。でもよく性格悪いって言われるよ。
You don't have a bad personality, you have a bad attitude. That's different. Yeah, but I think that's also cute.
嬉しい。くんない。
And what about you? Do you really like me? I figured it was a good time to ask. I mean, I just confessed all my shit to her.
好きに決まってるでしょ。
What? Of course, that's stupid. What kind of dumb question is that? She answered as if my question was totally strange.
だって葵くんかっこいいし優しいし料理も上手でちょっと意地悪でそれで
She was listing my good points one by one. A few things didn't sound like praise, though. Alright, I get it. Stop it. It's embarrassing.
分かったでしょ。葵くんがどんなに素敵な男の子か。
It sounded like she was totally love-struck, but I didn't say anything.
そんな素敵な葵くんが私のこと好きだなんてなんか変な気がする。
Uh-huh. She spoke with no confidence, hanging her head. Even though I told her I love her so many times, she's still awfully stubborn. Then how about this? Oh. Boom, shakalaka. Let's go. Katori raised her head, and I put my lips on hers. Taken by surprise, Katori opened her eyes wide. I put my hand on the armrest of Katori's wheelchair, leaned forward, and kissed her harder. Katori jumped with a start, then I put her hand on top of mine and squeezed it tightly. Her hand was trembling slightly. Katori, I love you. I whispered this while our lips were still touching. Then I pressed my lips onto hers once more while stroking her black hair. Katori closed her eyes. She relaxed her body, and gave herself to me. Katori's lips are so soft. They were flexible, so even though our lips were pressed against each other so strongly, they still felt tender. They were luscious and tasted really sweet. Ah. When our lips separated for a moment, she called my name. Her teary eyes and slightly opened eyelids, faintly glittered in the moonlight, gazed at me. I asked again while stroking her hair. Do you understand my feelings now? Do it again! Do it again! What? Let's what? I guess there's no choice then. I whispered, drawing Katori closer with the hand I was stroking her hair with, and kissed her one more time. Katori raised her chin, closed her eyes, and abandoned herself to the kiss. I wonder how long we stayed like this. The wind blew, brushing Katori's hair against my cheeks. That tickling sensation has brought me to my senses. I put my hands on Katori's shoulders and slowly took my lips from hers. When our kiss ended, Katori looked at me blankly. As if her soul had left her body, she was simply? Sitting limply. I didn't know sitting limply shortened to simply on her wheelchair. Did that convey my feelings for you, baby? Oh. Katori, still blank with a blank expression, shook her head. One more time! We're not done with this! You're so spoiled, Katori. I spoke like it couldn't be helped, and then lightly kissed Katori's forehead. That's it for today. Terrible service. I want a free fund. I want to speak to a manager. Alright, here's a bonus. What? I leaned over and hugged Katori. Since she was sitting in a wheelchair, hugging her is very difficult. Just lift her up out of the chair. She won't mind. Katori sighed into my ear contentedly. We'll continue when you come back. Katori nodded and then looked away shyly. Alright, let's go back. You haven't taken your bath yet, right? Katori suddenly got bright red and flustered. No, it's not that. I didn't mean we should take a bath together. Wait, that's what she wanted for a second, though. She's like, yes, no, we can't do that right now. No, maybe if everybody left, but no, not right now, no. But, well, I mean, if you feel like it, just say the word. I said jokingly, but... She looked at me with longing eyes. Maybe next time. I pushed the awfully honest and cute Katori, and we went back to the dorm. Oh shit. That almost got real sexy real fast.